listen up, kids, because I'm about to tell you the story of the worst and probably best time that I got lost. Now, to put this story in a little bit of perspective, I don't like getting lost. I like knowing where I am, where I'm going, and how I'm getting there to the detail. I'm the kind of person who will plan out my trip from start to finish a week before I go, because I really don't like not knowing where I am. So this day I'm about to tell you about was horrible for me. I used to be a member of Girl Guides for about 7 years, I think, and Girl Guides of Canada has this huge property in Northern Ontario called Camp Makiwa. I guarantee anyone who has been part of Girl Guides for at least a year in Ontario has been to this camp or at least heard of it. Now, it's not just a campsite. It's a massive place full of cabins and tent sites and forests and pathways and nature and general places to stay and things to do. It's great. But the most interesting thing on this entire property, or at least the most interesting to a group of preteen girls, is the magical golden mushroom in the middle of some forest. Now, on this particular weekend, I was about 11 or 12, I think, and I went to this camp with a good friend of mine, and we wanted to go exploring to find this golden mushroom. It was a nice day out, we were having fun, didn't see anything going wrong, we just wanted to find this mushroom and make a wish. So off we went on our journey, bags on our backs, smiles on our faces, and a very poorly drawn, not to scale map of the general area that we were staying in our hands. According to this map, however, the mushroom was in the middle of a forest, some distance north-ish of where we were staying. So we followed some paths, crossed over some bridges, and about an hour later we found ourselves in the middle of a huge forest with no mushroom and no idea how to get out. We walked around for about half an hour looking for a path without any luck, and then we started freaking out. We were alone in the middle of a huge forest with no cell phones, no adults, no idea where we were. We basically assumed we would die in this forest and our bodies would never be found. I mean, looking back at it now, this entire piece of land was surrounded by fences, and I'm pretty sure the largest animal you could find was a squirrel, but at the time we were terrified. So here we were, two 12-year-olds who had gotten lost while looking for a mushroom. We had walked circles around this area for so long trying to find a way out that we had totally forgotten how we had gotten in the first place, and eventually started going into hysterics. So you know, a little while longer passed, we continued screaming about how we were gonna die, and then we found a way out. It was like a light had shone down from the heavens, illuminating this overgrown pathway through some trees into a giant clearing, and we were so happy. So here we go, out of the forest, cheering and dancing and celebrating our freedom, only to discover a large group of little girls playing with fairy dolls staring at us, and their leaders trying not to fall over laughing. It was a little embarrassing, to say the least. We recognized the area and knew how to get back to our campsite from there. So with heads down and cheeks red, we speed walked out of there as fast as we could and went back to our tent where we stayed for most of the rest of the day. I did end up finding the mushroom a few years later when I went back with some more friends, but after this entire ordeal, it was a little bit underwhelming. Also, it turns out it was about 4 feet into the forest on the opposite side of the clearing that we had awkwardly escaped from that one day. Well, that was an interesting weekend, to say the least. And please don't let me be alone in this. Share your ridiculous and frightening getting lost stories down in the comments, and we can all laugh about our past together. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to hear more embarrassing stories, or just see more from me and Shannon in general. And we'll see you in the next video.